It is my pleasure, ladies and gents, to bring to you this virtual stage, stars from scary movies. First and foremost, let's make some noise for Miss Diane Salinger. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Next, coming to the stage, we have Mr. James Murtaugh. Hello.
Hello. Can you see me?
It's coming, slowly but surely. While we're waiting for that to kick in, let's hear it for Jimmy Workman.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, how are we doing? James, we still don't quite have you yet.
I can see that. It looks like I'm deep in thought.
That was a while ago. Contemplative. That's what that is.
I'm in a state of panic, so I don't know.
No, don't panic. We'll get you there. It's probably just a matter of you selecting the camera again. Sometimes that happens. It kind of turns off. There you are. Hello, welcome. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gents, we've got people tuned in from Texas, Washington, Florida, all ready to hear you guys talking. I'm sure we're about to get even more from all over the place. But before we get started, I just got to ask, how is 2020 treating you guys? Are you guys surviving, staying sane? Well, you look like you're managing.
Like the Howling, I'm in a cabin in the woods right now. So
that says so much.
I'm at the top of a mountain in Topanga Canyon, and I love it. I'm having the best time with my squirrels and my rabbits and a couple tarantulas and one rattlesnake that came.
Wait. Like it was all cute, and then you lost me with tarantulas. Like a pet tarantula?
No, these are tarantulas that are in my back part off the porch. I live at the top of a mountain, and I've seen a mountain lion when I first moved in, and I have a rattlesnake that came up from underneath my porch and went into one of the squirrel holes. I was beside myself because he stood up and he rattled and he looked at me and then zoomed down one of the squirrel holes at about 20 miles an hour. And then I got all my vegetables and threw them outside so I get the squirrels out of the holes because I didn't want him to kill them.
Oh my goodness.
He left here. He was more shocked than I was. And the tarantulas, I mean, I haven't seen them in a while, but around Halloween, one actually came into my hand. He was climbing up the wall of my front door, and he was trying to get to the light above my front door, and this guy was there who had a pet tarantula, and he showed me how to hold it, and I put my hand out, and he went into my hand, and it was like, Victor, it was like being part of the center of the earth. It was, the tarantula was so calm, and it just stayed in the palm of my hand for about 10-15 minutes.
That is the sweetest thing. They would have definitely removed the tarantula from my dead body, but I respect that. Like I totally get that. Jimmy, how about you, man? How's 2020 treating you?
2020 hasn't been too bad, with the COVID and everything going on. Got some time to go ahead and spend with my family, with the kids, do a little camping, dirt bike riding. So it's been pretty fun. I planted a garden.
Way to find living your best life, man. That's the way.
Planted a garden.
Okay.
Good with keeping many plants alive, but I've realized that water them and they grow.
That's the thing. Double check them for tarantulas and rattlesnakes. Apparently, those are things that exist in gardens.
I'm out towards past Valencia, up in the hill in the Acton area. There's mountain lions, a whole different array of animals moving around.
Wow.
Yet, but
Don't you feel closer to nature in this time, Jimmy?
Definitely feel that.
Pretty much. It's finally I've been able to calm down. Yes, no, I do. I've been had some time to just relax, with the nature, with the gardening, going for walks, seeing all different things that normally on everyday life when, the busy bustle of work, school, kids, constantly being out everywhere. Everything that's gone on has forced a lot of people to just take a step back, relax, stay home, and whether enjoy time or increase more family activities or writing or any hobbies. It's been a little bit of a godsend, even though we're in a tough time.
That's true. That's so true.
I'm a little too close to nature myself. I'm from New York, and I miss the energy and I miss the people. And I'm afraid when the snows come, I'm going to get like Jack Nicholson and run around a little crazy up here. And so I'm not sure how long I'm going to last with nature.
We'll send care packages and frequent visits as best as we can to make sure you're good. Okay, so horror. I'm a huge horror fan. I hope you guys are too, obviously, with your careers touching it so frequently. But it seems to be one of the most versatile genres of cinema. It can be scary, obviously, but it can also be psychological. It can be funny, oddly romantic. Do you think that's why horror is such an enduring and endearing genre for film? Diane, we'll start with you.
Well, I love doing horror because it's the closest to theater. And you can really let it rip. You don't have to hold back. You don't have to hide what's going on so it's just coming through the eyes. You can really let it rip. And I've played in Dark House. I played the monster. I had such a good time. I've played monsters in several of these horror movies. And it really is like theater. You know, you can just let it out and you get all your hostility out. It's fabulous. I have a wonderful time doing horror.
I love that. James, what about you?
Yeah, I love watching horror movies. I like being scared. I do. And if it's done well, like Get Out was one of the scariest movies I have ever seen. And then as an actor, you look at those and you say, oh my God, I'd love to be in one of those. And then to be chosen to be in a horror movie, I think it's every actor's dream to do a horror movie and to either do a Western, either one of those two. I think because you really, as she said, you get to let it all out,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what about you, man? I mean, not everybody thinks of the Addams Family as horror, but they were creepy and they were kooky. Like,
yeah, that's what I was about to say. I mean, look, I wasn't an actor prior to any of this. I was just found off of the street. And you know what? Horror movies after the Addams Family, as I started getting older, was a big part of my life. I love them. It's the whole thing.
Uh-oh.
Something scary comes out and you automatically jump and just throw some hair. I mean, for me, I'd rather watch horror movies versus comedy because, I think it keeps you focused and then throw them, hey, what's going to happen next?
Right.
Versus the next comedic joke that comes along. The Addams Family really wasn't mainstream horror, but there were still like the dark moments, the gray areas, and something that you would never see as an everyday family life. This was so far out of left field from the Jetsons and everything else to where you're eating rodents and critters. You've got trap doors and hiding places, and you never really see too much about the school, like children life with Wednesday and Pugsley as they grew. You saw little bits of it, but mainly it was getting into some real weird, odd.
Love that. That's amazing. Oh my God, that's so good. We've got some questions already pouring in, which is amazing. Aaron Agawa asks to Jimmy, what's your favorite Addams Family memory?
Okay, there's actually a bunch of them.
Getting paid.
I'd say when I was a kid, I had a huge obsession with fish tanks.
Okay.
In Pugsley's bedroom, there is a large fish tank that had different types of sharks. So I'd say for me, it was that part of being able just to sit there at night after they stopped filming or in between takes, just go sit there enamored by the sharks just swimming around and when they fed them. Off the set, like I said, I was never really an actor and I fell into it. So it was being around so many different people. Being a rambunctious child, I couldn't wait till I got done filming golf cart and go drive around the lot.
That's amazing.
So for me, there was two different experiences. A lot of fun.
That sounds
and they
incredible.
Chased
I'll bet they did, man. That had to be amazing. Absolutely.
It was a blast.
That is so cool. Lloyd is asking Diane, did you enjoy your time on Carnivàle? I missed that show. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I'm still really close to Dan Knopf, the creator of it. In fact, we're closer now. What was the question? Did I have a good time?
Yes. I mean, like, strange question of such a great show, but sure.
Okay, well, I had decided that I would be different in every scene, even though I was totally catatonic. And I couldn't even blink. I couldn't move my face. I couldn't move my body, but I decided I'd be different in every scene. And it's to do with the internal, whatever was going on in the scene. And I actually would say dialogue in my head to particularly my daughter, you know, who was, she could read my mind, and I would actually answer her. And so I was very different in every scene. That was my goal. But I have to tell you, who's the person asking the question?
Lloyd is asking.
Okay, Lloyd, I have to tell you that I'm a very serious actor, and I always do as much research. I love it often as much, if not more, as the performing. And a student of mine, because I was teaching acting at the time, her brother was a great psychologist, and he got me into 2 mental institutions, posing as a psychiatrist.
Wow.
And I went into 2 mental institutions, and the first one, they were very schizophrenic, and they were talking to trees on the walls, and I was mistaken for one of the inmates.
That's a testament to your skill right there.
That was extraordinary. And they're saying, where, what building are you in? And I said, excuse me, I'm actually a visiting therapist.
And you're like, sure. That's what they all say.
And then he got me in, and he came along with me to this one, to another hospital where they had patients who had dementia, as well as, you know, older people, very old people. And I saw this one woman there, Lloyd, and she was in the rec room, and her hands were like this. And her face was like this and like this. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is it. That's catatonic for 2 seasons in Carnivàle. And I touched her leg at one point, and she got very agitated because she was totally in a different dimension. And she got agitated, and I stopped touching her leg, and she went back into this. She was like this, you know. And then she went back into...
You captured all of that. Oh my God.
I was so grateful to finally meet this woman. And so in my gratitude, I brought all of the students of mine, and we put on a show for everybody.
That's the sweetest. That is the absolute sweetest. I love it. We
gave them a showcase. It was like a showcase.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. So, that is absolutely brilliant.
I absolutely, at first I would, you know, my ego, I'm an actor. I'm thinking, how can I go for 5 years doing, you know, not being able to talk?
Right.
And I thought, oh my God, you know, what have I gotten myself involved in? I can't say a word. I can't move. I can't blink. I can't move my face. What am I doing? I'm a serious actor, but I love not having to speak and saying my own lines within myself. I had the best time doing it, and the actors were incredible.
That's brilliant.
Oh my God, the lead boy.
Yes.
He's genius.
The whole series was fantastic. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I said, I miss Carnivàle tremendously. James, if you don't mind, talking about the Howling, obviously huge feature, great franchise. We're talking about the heyday of the video store movie cover. Did you have any idea that the Howling was going to be such a monumental cult classic of horror?
No, I did not. I knew it was a terrific script. I thought it was witty. It was clever. It was contemporary. It had all the elements. I said, this is going to be a fascinating story. But, you know, so much of that movie was special effects. And until you saw the finished product, you really didn't know how it was. When you saw the finished product, you said, Jesus, mother God, this goddamn thing is going to really off. I mean, there had never been nothing like it before. Nothing like that movie in the annals up until that time. Never had there been special effects like that. It should have won the Academy Award. Werewolf in London went on to win special effects. But Rob Bottin, who was a student of Rick Baker,
Mm-hmm.
Werewolf. Wick Baker was supposed to sort of be there and look over the shoulder of Rob Bottin, but he went on to do John Landis's film, Werewolf in London. And but Rob Bottin was 19 years old when he did that. And the guy he was a genius. But he being new and he was a perfectionist, he didn't finish things on time. So a lot of it was done after in post-production.
Gotcha.
And you watch that movie and you see the things that are done. Until I went back to New York, even after it was finished, and I thought, oh, well, I guess we'll do all right. People were stopping me, literally calling out from cars, yelling, "Silver bullets, my ass." The classic funny lines in the movie. And I said, whoa, people know this movie.
That's right.
They're shouting out my favorite line, my line. I thought, oh my God, it's great. I was getting recognized with that "silver bullets, my ass." So,
I'm gonna need that on a T-shirt. You have to wear that all the time now. That's
I should.
Gonna be part of our care package that we send your way. Actually, Dominic D wants to know, what are your fond memories of working on Barney Miller?
Barney Miller. I did a few of those. Yes. We're working with that wonderful cast. First of all, I mean, they were just a delight. Ron Carey was great. He'd come in every morning with a box of donuts for the cast. What a sweet guy. And Hal Linden was also a joy to work with. Everybody was just so receptive. Danny Arnold was great. He directed one of the episodes I did. Everybody on it was just a joy. So it was just a pleasure going on that set and working. And the humor was so good and funny characters and funny situations. I enjoy doing comedy, actually, more than I do serious drama. I'm not, although I've done a lot.
You're good at both, though. Let's not bury the lead on that one.
Yes, thank you. Yes. I guess it's what I enjoy better, but I have done both, and unfortunately, I've been able to do them both really well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was fun being part of that and looking back on that, and to know that there's still people still say, "I saw you on Barney Miller," and I go, "What? Yeah." So thank God now that we have all these Netflix and all these other shows. Yeah.
That's right. We can keep the magic going. We can bring in new generations that'll love you all over again. Since we're obviously talking about horror stuff, what do you think makes a good horror movie? Like, what is it that's the secret sauce of good horror? Is it the gore? Is it the effects? Is it jump scares? Is it the monster? What do you guys think? Jimmy, let's start with you.
I just lost it.
You know, like I said before, it's for me, it's the just coming out of nowhere. Yeah, just sitting there and drinking a soda and just out of nowhere, you throw that soda up in the air, the popcorn goes this way. It's that quick jolt where your heart just jumps. That for me, that's what does it.
That's the jump scare goodness. I like that. Miss Diane, what about you? What makes a good horror movie?
Okay, I think I've never thought of this before. This is a very wonderful question.
Thank you.
I think it's what's left up to the imagination.
Ooh.
You give a hint of it, and Kurosawa is so brilliant at this. In Throne of Blood, which is his version of Macbeth, all you see when Lady Macbeth's head is getting chopped off, you see her going like this, and then you see the swordsman going like this, and all of a sudden there's splatters of blood on the white screen behind her. And that's all you see. So it's so left up to your imagination, and it's very sort of zen. I really think that is the most frightening, is the tensions, but there could be very little going on the screen. Well, the audience knows it's coming, and they're filling it in with your imagination. And it's like in Henry V, Shakespeare says, "Think when we talk of horses that you see them putting their proud hooves in the receiving earth, for 'tis your thoughts that must deck our kings. Here and there, jumping o'er time, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass." You know, that it's the imagination that can create so much more than what you can on the screen.
Absolutely.
So much more frightening, because the unconscious comes up, and all of our nightmares from childhood and even adulthood. So it's what's the hint of something that the imagination fills in with, I think.
Oh my God. I love that. James?
I think it's the surprise. Like in the Howling, they were just average people. He cast me because I was just kind of the nice guy. last person you would suspect ever to be a werewolf. It's like in Get Out, average people.
Right.
When you find out who they are, oh my God, and that's to be scary. That's when it starts getting scary. But you've got to be surprised people with not where they don't expect anything to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We've got a confession here. Kathleen Gross says that they had the biggest, most serious crush on Pugsley when they were growing up. So I'm just throwing that out there. That was just that popped up. It had to be said. That's real. Gotham Nightingale said that Miss Diane, you got everybody with the tarantulas, all right? Like everybody's creeped out with that one. But what other?
I actually have a picture of me holding a tarantula last October.
Oh my goodness.
I can actually give it to people. I can send it to people.
That might need to happen. We might need to add that to the signature things.
Yes, yes. But the tarantula, she was definitely female. And she stood on these very delicate little legs in my palm.
Wow.
And it really felt, she was so calm, it felt like it was the center of the earth. I've never been this calm in my life with a tarantula in my hand.
I would not be personally. Does anybody else have any special creepy crawly pets or anything?
No.
The guy's like, nah, not doing that.
Not a big fan of spiders.
No desire.
I love that. I love that. Jose Mesa wants to know, what is the strangest fan experience that you guys have had? Jimmy, we'll start with you.
Well, when I was younger, I would start getting fan mail, which I never have experienced. And then I had gotten a letter from a gentleman in prison. Whoa. And somebody mistakenly actually gave it to me. So I read it, and at 10, 11 years old, I was like, then I had to go, hey, Mom, what is penitentiary? What is this? So that was probably the weirdest experience.
Okay.
That I ever had.
That's definitely grounds to start screening all your mail for some time. Yeah, I can understand that.
That's probably about the oddest or the creepiest one I ever had.
Okay, all right. That you know of.
Nice letters from people who've said how the Addams family impacted their lives as growing up.
Of course.
Which was really nice.
That's awesome.
I've gotten some odd ones, and I've also gotten some really nice ones, and some special ones from people.
I love that. James, what about you?
I said that I did a commercial for A1 steak sauce. It ran for a long time. Like, what's a hamburger, chopped ham? I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I do.
Well, I had crazy fan experiences with that. The damn thing ran for about 8 years. And I was in a restaurant with my wife. And this guy, I saw him walk by the window. And he comes back in the restaurant, walks by my table, and puts a bottle of A1 steak sauce on my table. He went to a store and bought a bottle. And
wow.
Thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Wow.
A lot of crazy experiences with that A1 steak sauce, I have to tell you.
Oh my goodness.
That was bizarre.
Was it even a steak restaurant?
It was just an ordinary restaurant, and he went into a deli and bought a bottle of steak sauce, walked by my table, and put it on the table, and just thought that was so funny. And I said, why are you doing this? He felt so good that he recognized me and knew what I did, and thought by putting the bottle, I don't know what he was thinking, but it was stupid.
Oh my goodness.
I was getting that all the time. I was becoming the A1 man.
Listen, now A1's going to send you all kinds of steak sauce.
Well, I got enough steak sauce. I don't know. I have enough of that. But it was a great run. I'm not complaining. It was a great run. But boy, oh boy.
That's too crazy. People just running by, flicking steak sauce at you, talking about silver bullets. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot. That was my big 15 minutes of fame as the A1 steak sauce.
Well, it's the best steak sauce.
What's a hamburger but chopped ham, right?
There you go. There you go.
Better on steak.
Miss Diane, what about you? What sort of crazy fan experiences have you had?
Bar none, the absolute weirdest. I come from theater, and I was playing a schizophrenic in a play. It was the LA premiere of Standing on My Knees. And I played a schizophrenic, and I had hung out at a halfway house for bipolars and schizophrenics, so I really knew how to do this and to work on it. And there was one scene, it was in the black, and I had to lie down on this bed and have this episode, like an epileptic episode. And I actually was with a girl who was schizophrenic going up in the elevator of this halfway house, and she had an episode like,
oh wow,
where she was just, epileptic, and I was trying to hold her and calm her down so she wouldn't hit anything in this closed elevator. And so I really did it very realistically, apparently, on the bed. I was having this epileptic episode, and this guy saw me doing this in the audience. He got up on stage when it went to black, and he jumped on top of me on the bed. And I had the next scene. I was in every scene of this play, and I had to get up and be in the next scene. And he was on top of me on this bed. And I said, get up, get up.
Did he think you were having an actual episode?
No, I think he was a schizophrenic.
Oh,
and they had let people in, who couldn't pay. They were just letting them in for free. I think he was off the street, and it was a very small theater, so you could just, the theater, the stage was, you just had to walk on stage, and he jumped on top of me and held me down, and with all my force, and I'm saying pretty loudly in the dark, get off of me, and I pushed him off, and I guess he got back in his seat, or they kicked him out of the theater, and then I had to go on with the rest of the play. And afterwards, I was worried about going, but the stage manager didn't want me to go outside, and so they went out and talked to this guy. He was waiting for me.
Oh my goodness.
And he said, she understands. Nobody understands, but she understands. And there was no way out of the theater except this one little exit,
right,
which was in the front. And they had to walk him down the street.
Wow.
Still saying, she's the only one who gets me. She's the only one who gets me. And then they stayed with him so I could leave. But that's such a testament to your performance, obviously, that it clearly resonated. That's both obviously terrifying on one level, but at the same time, there's a hint of endearment there. Absolutely. That I do hope that you take pride in that. I'm honored that he felt this closeness to me, but he jumped on me.
Yeah, that's the part where you're like, okay, I appreciate the compliment, but time out, personal space, the bubble. Let's bring back the bubble.
We're doing a play.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Gotham Nightingale, Jimmy's, this one is to Jimmy, I apologize. Said that the teacher said that Gomez and Morticia are the preeminent TV couple. Do you agree with that? Because I kind of have to put my 2 cents in and go, yeah.
Yeah, I would. Out of most of the shows, at least I grew up on, and some older ones, how do I put this? The connection between Gomez and Morticia that's portrayed on the screen is just it's not two individual people.
Right.
When they're together, they're one. It's just they flow together just wonderfully.
I love that. Oh my God, I absolutely love that. Okay, so obviously you guys have touched on different series that have been franchised out. When it comes to horror franchises or things like that, where currently superheroes are all the rage to build a universe off of, horror was one of the first ones to actually do that. Is it easier to create for a franchise, or is it easier to do something totally unique and standalone? I'll start with you, James.
Complete. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go, Jimmy, go.
I'm having a little bit of internet issues, so sometimes I just hear dead sound. So it's
no worries. Go for it, Jimmy.
You know what? Everything now has been remakes of old horror movies, remakes of comedy movies, sequels of Addams Family coming out with separate ones after. I would love and want to see some fresh new ideas out there, some new horror stories. we are in the age where now it's coming out with all the Marvel characters, DC Comics, which is great. I grew up on those and I love them. But I'd love to see some new, fresh ideas with some horror out there.
I like that. James, what about you?
Well, I think horror movies are easy to franchise. I mean, there's been about 7 or 8 Howling movies. And how many Dracula movies have there been with Bela Lugosi and even some of the other actors that played it? And I mean, you got Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
Exactly.
You know, and then what's his name played Frankenstein for so long on television? What's the name of that show that ran for years? Fred Gwynn, remember?
Yep.
That was a whole series based on a character. So I think it must be easier. I'm not in that field where you create those types of shows, but it seems to be easier, and people seem to go Hill House, Haunted Hills. That show has been The Haunting. They've done spin-offs of
right.
You know, and they've been very successful. So I think yes, it's a lot easier to spin off those types of shows than to create something really. I did read for something this week that was totally fresh and new. I can't talk about it, but it was really a clever show and a scary show.
Oh,
but that's
awesome. I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully it goes.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely.
It's been picked up. The show has, but hopefully I get picked up with it.
We'll put the magic juju out there since we can't talk about it just yet. We'll put the magic out there. Miss Diane?
Well, I was in Batman Returns.
Yes, you were.
And Rest Stop. They did Rest Stop 2 and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I've done Pee-wee's Big Holiday just 3 years ago. I played a totally different character. I don't really understand the question. What is the question?
Well, no. It's is it easier to create a character or be a part of a franchise series where you're not necessarily having to create something brand new, where you're kind of given more of a direction to be a part of something rather than, having to create something brand new or live up to another idea?
Well, in Pee-wee's Big Holiday, I played Katharine Hepburn, and then in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I play a Southern truck stop waitress.
I love her so much.
A completely very different kind of character. So I don't find, and in Batman Returns, it was just a one-off with, Mr. and Mrs. Cobblespot, the
Penguin's parents,
mom and dad. So I always feel that it's new. It doesn't matter whether, I've never, and Rest Stop, I played the same character, but it was just like a continuation. I don't really see the difference. Nice.
Now, I'll be honest, when it comes to Batman Returns, that's always in my head an alternative ending where Pee-wee and Simone ended up together and they ended up having Oswald as their son. Maybe that's just me, that's just me. But Gotham Nightingale wants to know, when it came to, playing Esther Cobblepot, what was in her head to throw Oswald into the river? How did you get to that place where you go, yes, this is what we should do. Take our baby and throw them in the river. How did you get that energy out there?
We had absolutely no sleep. This dreadful child, this penguin baby, we couldn't sleep. We were completely sleep deprived. And I think parents have I've never been a parent in this lifetime, but I think parents have fantasies about throwing their babies over the bridge because we're completely sleep deprived. I mean, it kills the cat. The cat wanders by the cage and this brilliant, very small little person who was so beautiful, and they made her be the penguin baby in the cage, and taking, and they actually cut and brought a stuffed animal cat that she actually pushed through the slats.
Grating. That's amazing.
And she was such a beautiful woman. Oh my God. And you just, I had no trouble at all. I have fantasized about
throwing people into the river.
I had no trouble whatsoever with it.
Listen, do not cross Miss Diane. You'll end up in the river. If you're lucky, you'll end up in the sewer. If you're lucky, who knows? We are unfortunately running close on time, so I want to give you all an opportunity to say one last thing to the fans. Miss Diane, we'll start with you, if you don't mind.
Well, I wish I could see you all. I think this is a marvelous way that we can all stay together as a community in this strangest of times in the last 100 years. And I think it brings just such good cheer and communion. And I know I have more energy today than I normally do with my squirrels and rabbits, you know. So I'm so happy to be doing this. What?
Don't forget the tarantulas.
Don't forget the tarantulas.
Yeah, the tarantulas don't have a lot of energy to them, believe it or not. They're very, very calm. And they don't hurt anything except grasshoppers. They love grasshoppers, which are abundant up here.
Okay.
And I'm just, I'm so happy we're doing this. And I love you all. This is a great platform to do this.
This is awesome. Jimmy?
Well, as I said, I've really not done too many conventions or any of the stuff, so it's kind of like a little bit out of the norm for me. But you know what? I've had a great time meeting people at the conventions, hearing stories about how the Addams Family has affected everybody's lives and all the positive outcomes and the help and the relation to the characters to the individual. So I think this is just a wonderful idea. And in 27 years, I never did anything, and I'm sorry I didn't do it sooner with these conventions, because hearing these stories and connecting with people, it's a great feeling, and it's awesome. Absolutely. So I look forward to all of it.
Absolutely. And it's not too late. We might be able to, you know, once shows start opening back up, we'll be calling you, be like, hey, why don't you come hang out with us? We'll do all the cool stuff. James?
This is the first time I've done anything like this, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly, actually, and it gives me a chance to go back and revisit some wonderful memories that I had with this movie, and it's just so wonderful that there are fans out there that follow this genre and have supported even this particular movie, and I think it should be. So it's been a very positive experience for me. So thank you.
Oh my goodness. That is so fantastic. Thank you all for joining us today, sharing your light, your energy, your talent with all of us. I do believe that there's a big fan cry for Funko Pops of Pugsley. So get ready, Jimmy. Like, there's a lot of people that want to have little bobblehead figures of you in their household. That's just, it's a thing. Don't forget, to the fans that are watching live or watching later on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, check out those paid exclusive experiences like one-on-one private video chats, autographs, custom video recorded messages. Those are coming later on this week. So you really want to get those. There's going to be all kinds of cool stuff. If you go to wizardworldvirtual.com, that's some of the cool stuff. We've got some more stuff that's happening. Let's see. Later on tonight, we've got Last Fan Standing with Bruce Campbell. That's going to be nuts. We've got Shadowhunters, Star Wars, and Scream Queens this weekend. Bruce Campbell versus Ted Raimi and The Fall Guy, all coming later on. Please make sure you're checking out wizardworld.virtual.com to find out all the cool stuff that's coming. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics, signing off for everybody. Thanking Wizard World for bringing us all together.
Victor. You were fabulous moderator.
Thank you so very much. You guys have a great one. I will see you next time.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.